Welcome back, adventure seekers! In our last episode, we took you on a whirlwind tour of Universal's epic universe, where we focused on the new hotel, Helios Grand Hotel, and Celestial Park and Dark Universe sections of the theme park. And today, we're diving even deeper. We'll explore the magic of the newest wizarding world of Harry Potter, soar through the Isle of Berk, and unlock the fun to be had in Super Nintendo World. Plus, we're answering your burning questions and sharing our honest thoughts. What we absolutely loved and the few things that didn't quite hit the mark. Ready for the inside scoop on this epic new park? Let's jump right in.
Ready for your fast pass to unforgettable adventures? Welcome to Talk Travel to Me. Featuring our Mickey Guru Travel Company expert travel advisors, this podcast will guide you in traveling with more ease, confidence, and a sprinkle of magic. Tune in for unique insights, insider info, tips, and personal travel stories that'll transform your journeys into exhilarating moments and lifelong memories. Fasten your seatbelt, grab your passport, let's embark, and let's talk travel.
We're back! We're still so jazzed up to talk about our epic universe experience, so without further ado, let's do this. Sammie, you've got to talk about your favorite.
I am 100% the person that walked into Isle of the Berk and started crying. I own it. You walk in, and everybody always talks about how like Disney makes you feel like you're a kid again. And I think this was my first time at Universal experiencing that same feeling of the magic and being a kid again. Talk about the most immersive land. First of all, flawless. We rope dropped it because, again, the second I found out I could meet Toothless the dragon, I was like, I got to be first in line. I can't wait. So I stood there and waited. And I don't know if we've mentioned this yet in the last episode or this one, but when you do the early entry hours, only two lands are open. So we were already in the park and we were able to get a head start on waiting in line for Isle of the Berk. And I think Shalon and I stood there for almost an hour waiting for them to open the gates. But so it was just the absolute coolest thing. One thing I love about How to Train Your Dragon Island of the Berk is it had more rides than majority of the other lands do. So it has three rides. You have Dragon Racers Rally, which is kind of like a carnival ride. If you're really skilled and work hard enough, you can kind of like flip your thing around. I'm not that skilled, so I just kind of flew around and flapped the wings. There's Friar Drill, which you will see floating around on social media, a video of Christy and I saying before Friar Drill and after, and it looked like we took a shower. I literally could wring my skirt out. It
Mhm.
was it was impressive, but it was great because it was like peak heat of the day too. So talk about a great way to like settle kids down and cool off. And then Hiccup's Wing Glider was one of my favorite rides between Stardust Racer and that. Those are my two favorite. It was immersive. It was so cute. You hear Hiccup talking to Toothless. Like it was amazing. And it was a 2-minute ride. That's pretty long for a coaster, especially something that a kid can go on. So I really loved that. And then they also had the kids area, which for anybody that has a little that gets stuck in a stroller, this is going to be your saving grace. This is a shaded spot. Keyword shaded because majority of the park is not, where these kids can get out of their strollers and run around. Everything in there is hand carved. We talked to one of the cast members and they were saying how everything in Isle of the Berk is like hand done, man made, like hand painted, and it was absolutely beautiful. And they had stuff for like teensy tiny little tots that were crawling around and can't really walk. Like they could go in little tunnels. They had, the tall slides. It was amazing. Like I wanted to play in it. I wanted to go down the slide. Didn't know if that was socially acceptable, so I didn't, but I wanted to.
I went down one and it was so fast.
Oh, you did?
I was not expecting it to be that fast. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
awesome. Another one of the cool things I really loved about Isle of the Berk was the amount of interaction you had with characters. So if you have seen the movies, you know the chaos that the twins Rough Nut and Tough Nut bring, and man, did they bring it to the land. It was so funny. They were harassing the popcorn stand cast members. They were harassing people walking by. They were so much fun. There's also Robbers Forge where him and his dragon are hanging out. We had a great interaction with him. I think I talked to him for like 5 minutes. He was super, super fun. But of course, everyone's favorite is meeting Toothless. It was the coolest thing. The sounds that Toothless makes, the facial expressions, like they did such an amazing job figuring out that whole character experience. Something to note though, a lot like when we went into the park, I assumed we were going to get to meet Hiccup with Toothless. It is Hiccup and friends. And so it rotates. So you may get Hiccup, you may get Astrid, or you may just get a dragon trainer that you do not know. So kind of keep an eye on that. I know a lot of people were getting a little agitated by it, but I mean, it, I would hang out with Toothless all day. I know it's like an animatronic, but I would hang out with him literally all day.
He was adorable. And don't wear stripes. Apparently, he doesn't like stripes. I had a striped shirt on and he growled at me. Kind of broke my
Oh,
heart a little bit because I wanted him to purr instead. I'm like, I'm sorry, I love you.
Oh no, I didn't
Apparently
even
he likes
notice that.
black
I didn't even hear him growl.
Yeah,
because I was wearing
his
black and I thought he was going to kiss me on the mouth.
yeah. So wear black, right? He loves the color black, or maybe
Yes.
white too, right? Because of his love interest. So
He was so cute.
no stripes.
One thing too, again, Universal is just killing it with food in the park, I think, for Epic Universe. They had three great food stops. There was Hooligans Grog and Gruel, which is where the mac and cheese cone is, and I ended up getting the Dragon Fire Chicken Spire, and that might be one of my favorite things I had on that whole trip. It was so good, and it was a great size, a great value. They had several different flavors, and it was like options where like spicy was for someone like me who likes that, but they also had just like a plain mac and cheese one with goldfish on it. So anybody that went there would have something that would kind of like lean towards their palate, which I thought was great. There is the Spitfire Grill, which had rice bowls, like sticky rice, steak, shrimp, salmon, chicken. So I thought that was really cool. It's kind of like a power bowl area. And then Mead Hall, I didn't eat there, but Shalon did. And Shalon had the coolest dessert. And I want her to tell you about it because I wasn't there to experience it, but it was so pretty.
It was like a chocolate mousse, but it was in the shape of a fish, and it kind of looked like a gold cracker type fish, like that style of it. And it was on top of some like Rice Krispie type treat cereal. It almost tastes like maybe Fruity Pebbles, and it was very delicious. And it was very light, so I ate the whole thing by myself. They brought out two forks. I'm like, no, just one, please, because everybody else was running around the park. This is just for me, but it was very good. But the rest of the menu looked delicious, so I'd like to go back and try some food in that place.
My last thing that I will mention about Isle of the Berk, and I think this speaks for all of us, the show, The Untrainable Dragon,
Ugh.
just it like took my breath away. The music was amazing. Actors were great. The fact that you see Toothless fly through the air, it was so well produced. I was in awe. Absolute awe. I was speechless, which was a lot for me.
I teared up during that show, like flying over. I'm like,
Absolutely.
well, I can't handle this.
And I had seen some sneak peeks of it before, so I knew he was
Hmm.
going to fly over, but I didn't realize it was going to be so soon. I think we all discussed that actually afterwards. I mean,
Hmm. Yeah,
he was flying over our heads just a few minutes into the beginning of the show. It's
they
awesome.
did a good job of like distracting you to look at something on the stage, and then like, bam, he's like on top of you. You're like, what is happening?
Hmm.
So well
It was
done. So well done.
so, so good. Again, like it made me feel like a kid again. And because my kids love that movie, like it just kind of tugged on those heartstrings that needed to be tugged on. And I was a wallowing mess.
Awesome. So I think we talked about this. That's one of our favorites, if not the favorite of all of us. Like so well done. I think the other one might have been Super Nintendo World because the theming in there was like incredible too. Like I really walked around there thinking they spared no expense. Like it felt like I was back in the 90s when I would play Super Mario Brothers after school and had all the cheat codes and like knew how to like just hit the little blocks perfectly so that I could get the extra lives. Like I was so into that back in the day. But in that area, they had obviously Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, which I had heard some kind of mixed reviews about, but I really liked it because I was able to understand that it was me being in a video game rather than it being something that was supposed to be like really smooth. It's like if I'm driving the Mario Kart, it's pretty like rambunctious and off the walls because I don't do that well. But we got to like throw the turtle shells and all of that. So that was really cool. I will say if you are of the fluffy variety, getting out of the seat of Mario Kart was interesting because I tried to just like sit or stand up like normally, and I was like suction cupped into that seat. So that was pretty fun.
It was a very
Uh,
awkward exit.
it is. It
It was
was.
hard to get out of that car.
And the person that was trying to get in next was like almost like on my lap as I was trying to get out. But I was like, hold on, like,
But you'll
please.
learn in about 3 minutes how hard it is to get out of the seat. So
Exactly. And then they also had over there Minecart Madness, which was Donkey Kong. And I was really excited about this. I've been following this for a long time because not because I had a really an affection for Donkey Kong necessarily, but the idea that they were going to have like the track was broken and you were going to jump the track and all of that. I don't want to give too much away. If you really want to see it before you get there, there's videos online, but it was so well done. But I will say it's jerky as all get out. So it's not a smooth ride. You are bouncing. I found like my knee kept getting slammed into like the little bar and stuff. It was fine. I did it twice. It was great, but um, if you're looking for a smooth ride, that isn't it. But also Stardust Racers is smooth, and I thought I was gonna die. So either
I can
way,
still hear you screaming.
right? So bad.
I don't want to be
So
here.
I don't want-
Is
yeah,
it too
As
late
soon
to
as that
turn back?
harness locks,
yeah. Allison's losing her mind, screaming bloody murder, and I'm over here going, I don't want to be here. I want to get off. I don't want to be here. It was so
and I
bad.
had a pain in my side because I was laughing too hard. What a roller coaster. I'm feeling guilty.
I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it. So Minecart Madness was a little gentler, and I'll do that one again. Stardust Racers, I really may have to take some Ativan or something before I can get on that again. Then the other ride in that area was Yoshi's Adventure with the glowing eggs. I feel like we all kind of had the same thought about that. It's a slow ride. It's like what you would call a dark ride in that slow moving, and it's kind of just to show you the story of Yoshi. You're supposed to like tap when you find the eggs, but I don't know. Did anybody find all three eggs? Because we didn't.
I
We
saw the
didn't.
third blue one in a video when I went back to watch it. It was with the section, I won't tell where it's at, but it was in a section and we were videoing, so that's why I missed the egg because I was like, oh, this is so cute.
I don't
I
think
think
I
the
found
best
any
part
of
of
the
that ride
eggs.
was the views, though. Just the overall views of Super Nintendo Land from that viewpoint was
Hmm.
amazing.
Yeah.
It
So
made the ride worth it.
Sammy, you didn't see any of the eggs?
I think my ADHD was just swirling all over the place because there was so
It's a
much
lot.
happening and so many cute things where I was like, what's that? What's that? And I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be playing a game.
The
Yeah.
only thing that concerns me about that ride is Florida thunderstorms. Are you going to be swimming in Yoshi when you get out? Because it moves so slow. And if you get stuck in a downpour, it's over.
Oh, I hadn't
It's
thought of
over.
that. You're
Oh, that's
right.
miserable.
I wonder if there's like little holes at the bottom to let water out, or if you're gonna be
Rain
like,
out.
Like a Jeep.
right?
Not for anything
Uh,
though. I was so confused when we got into that ride because the lap bar is kind of intense. So I'm like, oh, maybe we're gonna spin around or something. And I was like, all of this for that?
it must be to keep the kids in because they're gonna be like it's so slow they're just gonna get out. So that was it for the rides there, but they also had the power up bands that you could buy and then go and play around in the area. You could get earn points. The downside though is the power up bands were about $50. And I kept thinking, I almost bought one just for the gram so that we could like get videos of doing it. And then I was like, $50. Like that's just a lot.
Same. Yeah.
So I didn't. And I do feel a little sad, like maybe I should have gotten one, but I don't know, $50 was a lot. So I will say all of that was great, but I think honestly for me, the highlight of Super Nintendo World was Toadstool Cafe. Now, I did call it Toad Hall a few times, and Shalon finally turned around and was like, You're not in the right place.
Wrong
And I
part.
was right. We're not going to hell. We're going to the Toadstool Cafe. But I didn't know what to expect. I stayed away from spoilers beforehand, but that was so freaking immersive. That whole room was like you were literally climbed right into the games, and then the food was so cute. That was one place that did have gluten-free options, which was fabulous. They gluten-free cheeseburger, like that was great. But Shalon and I had the power up spaghetti, which was good, had a little kick.
I think it was
But
fire flower. That's why.
is it fire flower?
Because there from the video game, it was like, when you get the flower, you could spit fire.
Oh,
So it
that's
was like
right.
a little kick to it. It was good.
I didn't even make that connection, but yeah, that makes total sense. There was that little fire flower on it, the little like
Yeah.
Parmesan crisp or something. But what Lacey had was the best. Like I wish we'd all ordered kids meals because we're gonna post videos. So if you're listening to this, you can go to our Instagram and you'll see these pictures of the foods we've been talking about because that was incredible. The way that they had like the little chocolate coin and yeah, that was incredible. And I will say, as we're kind of talking about the food in Epic, the food is mostly mobile order, quick service spots, but you order it and then you go in and you sit down and they deliver it to you. Phenomenal. Everyone we went to, it was like clockwork. So simple. The tables were clean. At most, we had a little bit of trouble in ministry, but the rest of them, it was like spotless. The service was amazing. They brought you extra stuff that you needed. Like it was so much better. And, I hate to
Yeah.
say this, but down the street with the mobile order stuff where you're, carrying your tray around looking for a table to sit at and you can't find a spot, it doesn't
Right.
work that way there.
No need to eat on a garbage can here. There are plenty of seats everywhere. You just have to find them
Yeah.
inside the hidden tubbies sometimes.
Yeah. It was awesome. So that Toadstool Cafe, 10 out of 10. I can't wait to go back there. I will say you guys may have seen online, you'll see pictures that we have of the mushroom caps garlic bread. I'm just gonna say mm, they tasted good. They looked a little strange. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Use your imagination when you see them. But they were hmm, yeah. So that was Super Nintendo World. Loved it, loved it.
That specialty Donkey Kong punch float that I got.
Oh
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
I will
That looks so good.
offend all the Disney Dole Whip lovers, and I will stand on this hill. It is better than a Dole Whip float, and I love Dole Whip.
Okay.
That's
It
saying
was
something.
so good.
So was it pineapple ice cream? Is that what?
So it's banana soft serve. It might be swirled with another flavor, but I know there's banana in the soft serve, and then underneath it is like a pineapple-y soda, maybe. And then they had like the caramel corn, however you say it, wherever part of the country you're from that you're listening in, that word. And then a waffle bowl. But
Mm.
the flavors worked. It was good.
And you got the cup.
And I got the cup. Liv
So
loves the
cool.
cup.
All right. So the last portal, and I agree. I like Isle of Berk as my favorite, but this one was pretty cool just because it's so ginormous, I felt like. And this was the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the Ministry of Magic. And you just like the other portals, they look the same from the outside. They have some unique nuances of it, like this one has a wand at the top. But when you walk through the portal, you are transported to 1920s Paris, and it is the coolest. Like the size of the area, I think my mouth was just open as we walked through. I'm like, it just keeps going, and it's bigger and bigger, and it's just incredible. You go through this giant arch, and then you come out onto this like Parisian street where there's dining on the side, like the cafes, just like you would see in Paris. And so I feel like I just loved that immersiveness of feeling like you're in Paris. I feel like maybe it lacked a little bit of the connection like some of the areas would have as far as story goes, just because this part of the Harry Potter world is not as well known, maybe as like Diagon Alley or the other places. But it was still very beautiful. The windows I thought were really cool. It's something I feel like we missed the first time we walked in, but the second time we came back, there's a lot of interactive windows. And of course, you can use the wands in there. Your first generation wands still work in this park, but they've added some plussed up interactions that worked with just the brand new second generation wands that you can buy. I think they have six or seven, maybe eight new versions of those that you can purchase, but they're expensive. They're $85, I think. I started to get one, but again, it's like, when am I going to use this again? But if you're a true Harry Potter fan, you might want to splurge and get one of the new wands, because just about everywhere you step, you can see a new fun little interactive window that you can cast spells and do all kinds of things, just like you can in the other two parks. So that's a great plus up. Um, in here, I'm going to start with dining first and end with the attractions because I think the attraction was like the best thing in the whole land. So
Yeah.
dining, like I mentioned, we walked in, you can see like people dining on the streets, just like you would in Paris, but there's a lot of inside dining as well. We went to Cafe L'air de la Farine. I know I'm probably saying that wrong. It's been a minute since I've taken French. But this was the main quick service cafe there. We opted to sit outside just to get that feel because we were there towards like sunset, so the weather was just perfect at that time. And here's where you can get the much anticipated butterbeer crepe, and it was absolutely delicious. I think we all liked it, maybe to different levels, but I don't think anybody disliked the crepe. It was 19.99, so it's kind of like a little sticker shock when you get it, but it's big. I mean, between the five of us, we didn't even finish the whole thing. So it was
Mm.
nice, nice thing to share among your friends or family when you're there. And they had some other really great meals, things that you would expect to find in a French cafe, like I had a baguette that was a really good sandwich with like apple and some really good cheese. I think they had a quiche on the menu. That was going to be my next choice. I didn't go for it, but I wish I would have now. And I think I saw somebody had some soup as well. We didn't in our group, but I was looking at like other people's foods as we were in, maybe like a French onion soup, possibly.
Yeah.
It was really good. One of the other places was Le Goblet Noir, and that was the place I was trying to find because it's kind of hidden towards the back of the land. And that's where we got in and we couldn't figure out how to get out. We didn't actually sit down and have anything in this area. But it is like a fast casual spot and they do have some foods in there as well. But I'll have to go back to look because I don't even remember really seeing the menu. I just wanted to find it. And then there's also a place called Bar Moonshine. And I think, Sammy, that's where you got the really fun drinks. I'll let you talk about that because I don't even remember what was in it, but it was pretty.
I don't even know how to pronounce it, so we're not even going to try. So if you walk into Bar Moonshine and you say, I want that blue drink, it is kid friendly, so no alcohol in it. And it magically turns purple and it has this beautiful glitter vibe to it. It was so pretty. And it was really good. It was refreshing. It was light. It wasn't like it was a creamy, heavy thing. It was like it's like they did like a light blue raspberry Sprite and mixed it with some other varied flavors. It was really good.
Hmm.
It looked like it. So definitely next time for sure. And they had all other alcoholic drinks, right, as well in that area. And of course, they have a butterbeer cart. I'm not going to try to pronounce how they have it listed in French, but there is a butterbeer cart there where you can get cold or frozen butterbeer. And they do have some fun souvenir mugs that you can get there as well. So if you want to have that for the gram and have as a souvenir to take home, you can get that. And there is also a candy shop in there too, which is kind of common for the Harry Potter areas. And I had some really good chocolates from in there that was delicious and good place to get, your every flavor beans and that kind of stuff too, if you're looking for those or the chocolate frogs. The other thing that's in here is another entertainment offering. We weren't quite sure what to expect for this because we didn't really do a whole lot of research before. It was called Le Cirque Arcanu, and it's a live stage show, which is kind of focusing around the Fantastic Beasts franchise. And it goes into some of the magical creatures that are a part of that franchise. And you do have even a guest appearance of Newt Scamander that shows up. It was really cute, especially because we had no idea what to expect, but it was a really good stage show with some really large puppets that I was kind of not expecting to have in this space that seemed really small, but it was kind of like as you get in there, it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and it opened up to this giant space, which was really like really great.
Yeah, I definitely didn't know what to expect going into that. And at first, when we were standing out in the thing, I was annoyed. I was like, listen, I did not come in here to stand to watch a show.
I thought that was
But
it too. Yeah.
yeah, and then that was just the pre-show. So if you're worried about it, your feet are tired, don't hold just hold on because it is the seats are coming and it's a good show.
Yeah. And I don't think any seat was a bad seat in that place. We ended up kind of close to stage just because we were kind of the last in, and I feel like anywhere was a good spot.
Mm.
And then the A ticket of this whole land is the attraction Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. So this is a brand new, like state-of-the-art ride where you're joining Harry, Ron, Hermione, and you're going through the British Ministry of Magic after Dolores Umbridge kind of escapes because she's on trial. So it's kind of chasing her through, trying to recapture her after she escapes. This area is absolutely incredible and so immersive. I did not know what to expect. So even if you aren't going to be able to ride the attraction, because right now it's only going to be offered through virtual queue. I don't know how long they're planning on doing that because I think they're still, with the tech rehearsals and things they're doing, there's a lot of downtime that's happening. So they don't want to get a ton of people in there and then they have to evacuate the queue and all that. But if you get to go and it's still virtual queue and you're booking with one of us, we will make sure that you know the ins and outs of how to use that virtual queue and some tips and tricks that we learned because we missed it the first two times our first day and finally got it during the third drop of the day. It was very stressful. So hopefully it's not like that forever and people can just line up for it. But also expect that if they do start letting people line up for it, it's going to be long. We talked to a team member and I think they mentioned the queue could hold upwards of 7 hours.
Hmm.
I
But
can't
there's no
imagine.
bathroom. There's no
Yeah,
That's
bathroom.
insane.
Well, you need your
Right.
cannot
astronaut
imagine.
diapers. Like grab an astronaut diaper before you get in line over there. Like
There's a lot
I
to look
would
at in
say.
that queue, but not, I don't think I could stand there for 7 hours.
We went through a lot of switchbacks that we didn't even stop through. Like we just kind of buzzed through them. So I was looking at those rooms thinking, oh my goodness, I cannot imagine standing here.
No.
So if they end up not doing virtual queue and it's standby, I 100% would say that is your priority. You need to rope drop that attraction if it's standby only in the future because it's going to just have a line all day. And for good reason, because it was really good. Next to Stardust Racers, which is a roller coaster and not really immersive or anything, but that was my next favorite attraction. It is heavily screen based. There are some physical props and such, but the screens they used in this version of the attraction are so crisp and clear. I kind of feel like they're almost like the same screens they use in the Bourne Stuntacular over in Universal Studios, because there's points of time where you can't quite realize what's screen and what's animatronic because there is some mix of the two of those in the ride. So you're just like, what is happening? And the attraction ride seat itself kind of gives Tower of Terror vibes, where you're kind of sitting in these benches. So it is friendly for all kinds of sizes and shapes, which is really good. So everybody can ride that. If you weren't able to maybe ride Forbidden Journey, you don't have to worry about that because you will be able to fit on this attraction, that just uses a seat belt across. And I think it lives up to the hype. I felt like that was probably the most hyped attraction that Universal did, along with probably the Monsters ride as well. But it lives up to it, and I hope they find a way to make it efficient. Right now, it is not efficient. A lot of things are still breaking on it. So definitely pack your patience if you are going to Epic here in the next couple of weeks when it opens, because you may or may not get to ride this, unfortunately, just because of the sheer magnitude of this attraction.
yeah, I think that's why we've been kind of talking to our individual clients about there is a desire to be there like opening time and shortly thereafter, but really I'm kind of advising people wait until fall because let
Mhm.
them work the bugs out. And also the hottest part of the year, let that all happen and then come rolling in come like September, October, because I think that they'll work out all of these kinks and you won't be stuck. But if you need someone to go with you to handle the virtual queue for ministry, I think Sammie can be bribed
Yep.
And that girl is like a
She was
dog with a
there.
bone. She was not allowing us to miss this. So she
Wasn't
got
gonna
it.
happen.
I
No.
think you refresh your screen for a solid 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You just went into
And
like robot mode. You weren't
realistically,
even thinking.
it was 5 minutes before the 6 o'clock drop when I got it. So they must have sprinkled in some little ones when I snagged it. It was exciting. It was fun stuff.
The
Very
nice
much
thing
so.
about that attraction too is if you don't get the virtual queue or you don't want to actually ride it, you can ask a team member to go in and see the area because you don't scan in till well inside the line. So you can go in and see the area of the giant screens and the offices of the Ministry of Magic. And I highly recommend everybody do that because then everybody gets to walk through the Metro Flu and get transported over to the Ministry of Magic as well. So always a good idea just to do that, even if you don't plan on riding or can't ride for whatever reason.
All right, well, that it concludes our walk through the portals at Epic Universe. And now we're going to move into some listener questions. We posted on TikTok and Instagram asking people to ask us what questions they had that we should answer in this podcast. So the first one was Jean H from TikTok, and she said, "Are most of the rides plus size inclusive?" So, before we talk a little bit about the specifics here, just to give people an idea, Universal historically has struggled by making their rides inclusive for a variety of body types, including people that are plus size, but also people that are tall. Sometimes you've got like maybe men that are like 6'5" or taller, and some of the rides just don't work for them. I do say, as the fluffy one in this group, it is much more size inclusive than the other parks. I think that if you are a woman that is kind of in that 16 to 18 size range, you're not going to have a problem. I was able to ride all the things, didn't have any issues whatsoever. But I do have a friend that went and she is in that 22 to 24 size. And she did have trouble with a few rides. So I'm just going to kind of shout those out. She did not fit on Dragon Racers Rally that has that over the body harness and it did not work over the chest area. Frankenstein, the Monsters Unchained, because it is very much like Forbidden Journey. So if you have trouble with that one, this is going to be very similar. Although I will say on that attraction, the outside seats in each unit do have a little bit more flexibility, so that is kind of like you're on the line there. Stardust Racers, unfortunately, is not a go for someone that is size 22 and larger. And it does depend on where you carry your weight. So all of the attractions do have test seats. So if you're not quite sure, you can discreetly go and try them and then, figure out if it's going to be a go for you before you go stand in line. But everything else really should be fine. It does accommodate larger bodies. On like Donkey Kong and Mario Kart, you might, like I said, have a little trouble getting out of it because you might get like suction cupped in, but that I think the rest of them are pretty. It's much better than the other parks. They did. There's definitely evidence that they tried.
And one thing that I noticed consistently in this park was the test seat. I
Mhm.
think there was a test seat at every single attraction, where at
Mhm.
some of the other parks, they're only at certain ones. This one I
Mhm.
noticed at, I think, every single one. So that was nice. At least you have that heads up, and you can try it before you wait in line. And then you're disappointed at the end.
Yeah, which I will say has happened to me before, not at Universal, but I was at a Six Flags and I waited for a long time for Superman at Six Flags New England, got to the end and could not get on. And that was like they didn't have a test seat. So like I just get stuck. So I appreciate that they do that because it could be for any reason that you've got a different body type. The way you're carrying your weight could be a problem. So I appreciate that
Even
they
for
did.
people who feel claustrophobic too, though, like the opportunity to kind of see what you're getting legitimately stuck into, you can't get out. So if somebody has like certain things that kind of trigger them, it's a great way for them to feel it out.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Alicia from TikTok. We'll probably let Shalon take this one. Do any of the hotels offer early entrance to Epic Universe?
They do. If you stay on any of the on-site Universal hotels, not just Helios, you do get the early entry benefit, which is a great thing. But I would say that if you're not staying at like Helios, obviously because you can walk right in, but Terra Luna or Stella Nova, because those are close, if you're staying at the other campus, I would make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get there via the bus in the morning and then get through security to be able to make sure you're inside the park soon as they drop that rope so you can run. So I would probably suggest leaving your hotel an hour before the early entry time starts just to give yourself plenty of time.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Brandy from California said, I saw videos of the water refill stations. They were so cute. Are there really as many as there seem to be? Sammy, you noticed that too.
I thought this was awesome, and I think that Universal realized that this was not the most shaded park, and they're like, crap, we got to do something to hydrate people because there are water fountains and water refill stations everywhere, like in the lines for the rides. Hiccup's Wing Glider, there was two of them, I believe. They have them in, I think, almost every attraction. I don't know if there was one in the Frankenstein one, but that's also in the shade. It's in a building. But they did a great job making sure Operation Hydration is complete.
Yeah, and they are all themed to what the universe that they're in, which I thought was super cool. Like the one within Isla Burke was literally like carved. So
Yeah.
that was so cool. And
I think I
also
said to Lacie, I'm like, I'm drinking dragon spit because it's the dragon's mouth that opens into your
I
water
love
bottle.
that.
oh. And Lacey had noticed that like at all of the freestyle machines you get the water so you can refill your water bottles, but they also had ice. So you could
Right.
literally just like
And it was the good ice. It was like Chick-fil-A ice.
Yeah,
It
crunching it like
wasn't
Ooh,
just
crunchy
fancy
waffles.
ice.
regular ice. The
Mm.
Coke Freestyle machines at the other parks just have regular ice. These were like upgraded.
so I would
Wonderful
definitely
ice.
suggest bringing your water bottle, like your refillable water bottle, because there's
Yes.
plenty of opportunity. You don't need to wait in line to get water. You don't have to like buy bottled water, unless you're bougie. But all right, so Katie from Vermont, and we'll have Lacey take this one. Which of the parks do you like best? Is there a certain order you'd recommend visiting for a first timer?
Um, it's kind of hard to judge the part, like rank them as far as which one I like best because they're all so different. And Epic Universe is no different than that. Like it stays with that theme of being just totally unique. If I were visiting for the first park, or if I were recommending for someone visiting for the first time, I would say you have to start at Universal Studios Florida, just because that is the original park. That's the classic. That's the OG. That's where ET still lives. I mean, you have to go see ET. That's like a necessity. That is my family's first ride. It's kind of a rule. We
Mm-hmm.
have to go and be welcomed home by ET, the very beginning of our trip. So definitely start there at Universal Studios Florida. And then I guess I would kind of go in the order that the parks were made in. So the next park that was developed by Universal Orlando would have been Islands of Adventure, and which is actually a huge adventure. It is. It lives up to its name. Islands of Adventure is a lot of fun. Very cool theming with Jurassic World and Marvel Superhero Island. Definitely finish with Epic because Epic is worthy of being the grand finale.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really is. The immersiveness of Epic Universe is something I've never experienced before. I've never seen anything quite like that in all of the parks that I've been to. This one is it's just special. It really is. They paid so much attention to detail and made sure that their guests were completely immersed from start to finish. Um, this park is just it's impressive. So I would definitely save it for last.
I think I agree. Does anybody have a
Yeah.
different idea about that?
No, I agree.
Yeah, I feel like if you started with Epic, which I know I have clients going in July, and that was their plan. So I messaged them when I got home and was like, don't do that. Start at the other parks. And the other parks are great, but it kind of reminds me of like you wouldn't go to Magic Kingdom first and then take your kids to Animal Kingdom because they'd be kind of like, oh, Why isn't there enough to do here? You
Right.
know, I think that works that way. All right, last question is Michelle from Chicago. And Sammy, I'm going to throw this to you because you have a little, and your older daughter is not quite a teenager yet. But is there enough for kids to do at Epic?
There is so much for the kids to do, and I was so excited that Universal now has a park that is like, wow, I can spend the whole day here and my 4-year-old not be miserable because she can't go on half the stuff. There's so much to do. There's so many character interactions, which I think are lacking in the other parts of Universal parks. So you can meet Luigi, you can meet Mario, Princess Peach. There's interactive bongos in Donkey Kong Country. There's all the stuff in Isle of the Berk. There may not be as much for them in Dark Universe, which, depending on how old they are, rightfully so, but they still can do stuff. Like the food is good. They have great food for kids. They can watch the shows, and if they're scared, you bring them out into Celestial Park and they can go do the carousel. Like there is plenty for them to do, and if it's something they can't do, Universal does a great job of having the rider swap rooms. So again, you're
Mm,
not out in the heat. You're in a nice little, contained area where your kid can move around. So I think for me, because Olivia is 4, Island of Adventure is a little too much for her from a height restriction for rides. So I don't want to ever bring her there. I want to bring her to Epic Universe tomorrow.
All right. So that's it for questions for now. By all means, if you're listening to this episode and you're like, I want to ask another question, you can always text us. You can always send us a DM through the podcast page on Instagram, which is at Talk Travel to Me Pod. Or you can reach out to us individual because all of our contact information on the socials and email and all of that is in the show notes. But last but not least, ladies, I want to do number one thing we love and the number one thing we would change or something that missed the mark about Epic Universe. So let's start with Sammy. What do you love the most about Epic Universe?
I'm gonna sound like a broken record. It's kid friendly.
Yeah.
It's like it's great for friends and family of all ages. I think it is just a one-stop shop, something everybody will love.
I love Stardust Racers. I hate to just put it on like one attraction, but I love a good coaster, and that thing just blew my mind. I have not screamed like that on a coaster in many years, and it was chef's kiss.
Oof. Okay. Lacey, what about you?
For me, it would have to be the complete and total immersion. Once you walk through a portal, you don't know that anything else exists.
Mm,
So that's it. I mean, that's all you can see until you step back out of that portal and you're just completely and totally immersed and just taken into that world. Straight back to your childhood in some instances.
yeah, for sure. For me, the number one thing I have to say, as someone who has admittedly never seen the How to Train Your Dragon movies, like I started to watch them or the first one before I went on this trip and didn't get through it. I loved that entire area. There was something just so calming yet magical. The Untrainable Dragon show, I could watch that every time during the day. I think it's offered like 5 or 6 times. I could sit there and just watch that. The air conditioning was nice, so that's definitely something that was a win. But that whole area to me just felt happiness. Like it just felt happy. And I don't feel like, especially right now, that there's a lot of space in the world for happy. So I felt like just walking through that portal brought me so much joy. And I did start watching the movies again when I got home. So I'm hoping to have that done before I go back. Um, so yeah. All right, let's think on the final note for this episode. What's something that you would change, Sammy?
You're gonna know this before I even say it. The coffee. I don't know what Universal is doing. I don't want Starbucks. I want you to bring me into the worlds and give me different immersive coffees. I know we're not supposed to compare the two, but let's just say another major theme park place does real well with their fun, fancy coffees. Like if we're talking Dark Universe, give me something that's like a red velvet cold brew with like a Dracula foam or something. Like give me something fun that pairs well with the land. You can get Starbucks in New Hampshire. I don't want it at Universal.
Yeah. And you're really into your
That's
coffees more than I am, but I can appreciate that. Like we were in the Donkey Kong area and I was like, how cool would it be to have like a coffee with a caramel, whatever, with a banana cold foam or like something
yes.
like that. Like that stuff, I feel like it would be simple too. It's not hard.
I had to think about this one, and then I kind of went back to something. I think I said it to Lacey when we were in there one point. I felt like the music in the lands, while is very good, and I like how it immerses you, it was too loud.
Mm.
And I don't know
Yes.
if it's maybe they were just still in tech rehearsals trying to get it adjusted just right, but it felt like so much overwhelm, especially in the Mario land, because I think it's, more sheltered the way that's built up. It just felt like your brain was just constantly ping, ping, ping. And like the people playing the games and stuff too, I think adds to that with the hitting the boxes and the coins. But I love the music. I'm not saying the music was bad because I think it was really good, especially in the Celestial Park area. I think they created like a whole soundtrack for the theme park just in that area alone. So it's like original music and it's beautiful. But I feel like in some of the areas, they need to just take it down a few notches because it's a tad overwhelming and tad overstimulating. And I could see that potentially being a problem for all kinds of people, including little
Right.
ones too, possibly.
We had a hard time just carrying on a conversation at one point in time because
Yeah.
it got so loud.
Yeah.
If I could change one thing, I guess it would be to add some more shaded spots in the park. So there's a lot of places to sit. There are benches everywhere. There are even some covered areas that we thought were really nice that they weren't attached to a restaurant. They were just covered areas where you could go and hang out. Some had tables, some didn't. Just places to kind of escape the heat. But those areas, like just with benches, were wide open. I mean,
Mhm.
they were just in the broad open sun. In Celestial Park, especially, I was sitting there one morning, having a breakfast sandwich, and it wasn't hot yet, thank goodness. But that was my first thought. Like, if I were sitting here in the middle of the day, this would be impossible. Like, I think my
Yeah.
feet would be burning just sitting here. I love Berk, no shade whatsoever. Benches everywhere.
Hmm.
And the cutest benches I've ever seen. I think I took a picture of all of them because they were so cute and hand carved. But we couldn't sit there, not
Right.
for long. I mean, those areas, although nice to take a load off, are are just too hot. They need some umbrellas, some kind of covering. And I know in years to come, there are lots and lots of landscaping. I know in years to come that's going to grow and that's going to provide some shade. But for now, I feel like they need something immediately while those trees are growing.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all kind of found that it's like you have to carry an umbrella with you or do whatever you can to try to bring some shade with you. But if they could just put some umbrellas up, that would be a huge help. And I hate to keep bringing it back, but it was the same way at Toy Story Land when they first opened that. So they all kind of go through it where I don't think they think through the fact that you're in Florida because they're building it in the winter or early spring, right? And it's like they're not realizing that we were there in early or mid-April and it was crazy warm even then. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in July. So the thing I would change, and hopefully it's being changed, is the way that they're handling the allergy situation. So we had, as I mentioned, my daughter was there. She has a gluten sensitivity, which made me think not only about the gluten allergies, but with people that have peanut allergies or dairy allergies. We have actually several of our agents have celiac disease, which means it's not just a sensitivity that upsets your belly. It's could be a life-threatening situation. And none of the snacks that they advertise, like all those great Instagram worthy snacks, not a single one of them have allergy information or are gluten free. I don't know about the peanut situation because the app has not been updated yet, so that's a problem too. But I would have asked them to say, how do you make some crepes with gluten free flour? Because we do it at home, so it can be done. So make that option available, that sort of thing. Because I think you're going to have a lot of sad people especially littles that don't really understand if they have an allergy that like, nope, that's not safe for you. Well, that's not safe for you either. And oh yeah, you can't have that either. So I would ask them to, they have a lot of resources at their disposal to figure out how to make some Instagram worthy things that, even if it's not specifically gluten free, create something that doesn't have gluten in it or doesn't have nuts in it, dairy free options, vegan options, like things like that, so that you can be more inclusive. I think while they got better with the size inclusivity at Epic, they kind of lost it on some of this food stuff. But with that said, we would all go back in a heartbeat today. I know. We've all been like posting that stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I can't wait. I've been telling
Oh,
my family like how excited I am for them to see it for the first time.
I know. I know. So cool. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone, and joining us on the deep dive into the magic, thrills, and even the little surprises of Epic Universe. If you want to see this incredible new park come to life, be sure to check out our YouTube page for immersive videos and behind the scene glimpses. The link is waiting for you right down in the show notes. In addition, each of us have been going wild on our social medias, so the links to all of that is there too. I highly suggest you check out Sammie Meeting Toothless because that just is like, again, joy personified. And we have a lot of just great content between the four of us on our socials, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the places. And when you're ready to start planning your very own epic adventure, you know we've got your back. Don't hesitate to reach out to any of us at Mickey Guru Travel Company. We are here to make your dream vacation stress-free and unforgettable, and shall I say, epic. Until next time, keep dreaming big and traveling far. See you real soon.
Thanks for listening to Talk Travel to Me. We hope this episode cracked open inspiration for the treasures that await you at your next dream destination. If you love the show, please review, subscribe, and share it with a friend. At Mickey Guru Travel Company, we're your trusted guides for theme parks, cruises, resorts, and more. Visit our website at mickeyguru.com to learn more and book your vacation today.